in the Detroit area, Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев.
The music Adios No Niño by Astor Piazzolla.
And they are in 6th place heading into the free dance. This music apropos in this program, an emotional one for Naomi and Peter. It's dedicated to their late choreographer, Paul Milligan, who passed away this past spring.
The music, originally a 9-minute piece, is now cut down to 4 minutes. The mood changes every 30 seconds, and that requires great sophistication to interpret those moods. One of the most difficult pieces that Piazzolla wrote. Remember, what ice dancing is all about is how to move to music. It's the quality of skating, the flow, the speed, the quiet edges, whether the partners are in sync. Dancers are the best skaters of all the disciplines of figure skating because they can't hide behind triple jumps or wild spins. Now, part of the new rules include lifts like this. And that makes it a little bit more like single and pair skating, gives the judges something to hang their hats on, but it's still the basic quality of skating. Mood changes and the staccato quality of tango dancing is very hard to do on ice. This young couple needs a great deal of time to get into this, but they're doing a wonderful job of it so far.
Naomi is originally from Michigan, but Peter is from St. Petersburg, Russia. Has been in this country for 7 years, has a green card, much like Gorsha Sur a few years ago when he teamed up with Renee Roca. They skated for a while in Lake Placid, but now are back here in Detroit training.
Steps, one of the new requirements. The tango is difficult enough because of the closeness required, the quick steps, the staccato-like moves. Very good. It just needs more practice, a little more sophistication, a little more experience. But what a wonderful dance.
Certainly a couple to watch over the next few years leading up to the next Olympic Games. Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев.
Now, look at this move. This is one of the lifts that are now required. A minimum of 5, a maximum of 7. This gives the judges something to hang their hats on when they're comparing skaters with the inventiveness and the expertise of these jumps. Very dramatic.
4.9, 5.2, 5.
Their goal to skate at the 2002 Olympic Games when Peter will be a U.S. citizen. The first set of marks for technical merit, 4.9 to 5.3.
Well, they are really a wonderful looking couple on the ice, beautifully matched, great figures. They present a wonderful picture, and their quality of skating is first rate. A little more maturity, a little more experience, and they'll go a long way.
The presentation 4.9 to 5.4 for Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshev. And up next, Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pezera of France, the reigning Olympic bronze medalists, take the ice. When we continue, she from Russia, he from France. They started skating with English as a common language. That was a little too complicated.
It was hard at the beginning because we were mixing all the three languages, Russian, English, and French, mainly English at the beginning. And then when we get to the first competition, with the stress and all this thing going on around us, we just mixed too much the languages, and we couldn't understand each other, so we had to choose for one language. And because we are staying and we are working in Lyon, we choose French. So now Marina is speaking French.
Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pezera.
Well, they are coming off a terrific season. Last year, Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pezera captured the bronze medal at the Olympics and the silver medal at the World Championships. They're also three-time French national champions.
And the performance they gave last year of Romeo and Juliet was one of the great ice dancing performances of all time. Tonight's performance, The Man in the Iron Mask. They move to the music, the quality of skating, their flow, their speed, their edging, their synchronization.
A free dance worth 50% of the overall score, and it lasts 4 minutes.
Great many more very inventive lifts and spins than we've seen before because of the new requirements in ice dancing. Beautiful change of edge. Beautiful of the disciplines, but perhaps the hardest to judge. Because you can't rely on watching jumps and spins. But that's why they're now bringing in moves like this. Wonderful move. Really good. They're bringing in, this would be a so-called lift. Now, those lifts were possible before, but now there are great and more strict requirements regarding them. So it's making it, in one sense, more like single skating, but still very difficult to judge. Interpretation of the man in the iron mask, but an interpretation of the emotions that go on in that story. Prison, freedom, brotherly relations. delightful position at the end. I find this couple so inventive and so creative, and a truly beautiful ice dance couple. This program, not as successful or not as impactful as Romeo and Juliet. You notice that also the way the audience is not reacting on their feet as they did last year.
And Marina and Gwendell talked all week to us about how hard it is to try to top the Romeo and Juliet program of last year.
Now, this couple has always had wonderfully inventive ideas. Look at this lift. Once again, where she lifts him and he does the stretch. We've seen it before with the women doing the stretch, never with the man. That's really tough and very beautiful. And look at this, really this pair spiral. Now watch them go from this edge to this one. I think that's what skating is all about. That's what makes it interesting and endlessly complicated.
Marina, originally from Moscow, she now has dual citizenship. Three-time French national champions. The first set of marks for technical merit, 5.4 to 5.8.
And I think, those marks are about right. There's plenty of room both above and below them. But they are wonderful skaters, really sensational technicians.
Second set, Dick, presentation marks, 5.7 to 5.9.
And you see a variation there because the program is not as successful as the one that they did last year, but still very, very good.
And Asina Pesara, the leaders after the original dance, they set the standard. And up next, the four-time Italian champions, Barbara Fusser-Poli and Maurizio Morgalio, take the ice with the lights on. Might be dangerous. They're skating to Dracula when we return.
And Maurizio Morgalio.
And here's the couple in third place heading into the free dance. Barbara Fusser-Poli and Maurizio Morgalio of Italy, the four-time Italian champions. And they made a large jump from 1997 to 98 at the World Championships from 9th to 5th.
And his hand is covering 2 bite marks for the simple reason that this is from the soundtrack of Dracula. This couple has always been extraordinarily flamboyant. Their costuming, their makeup, their clothes have always gone somewhat over the edge, but interestingly so. Minimum of 5 lifts, maximum of 7 that they're allowed to do. Twizzle. Remember, a twizzle is which one partner turns the other, quickly going down the ice. There's a twizzle. Have to do a minimum of 4 of them in the program.
Although from Italy, now working with Russian coach Tatiana Tarasova, and that is who picked the music and the theme of Dracula. She heard the music and immediately thought of them. So they're looking for a Russian influence and got a Transylvanian influence.
So-called straight line step, a diagonal going from one corner of the ring to the other, which they are not allowed to include either spins or jumps or dance pirouettes.
Well, they finished second in this event a year ago. Went on to a sixth place finish, by the way, at the Olympic Games. Barbara Fusser-Poli and Maurizio Morgaglio in third after the original dance.
They've always been a very dramatic pair. The new rules are really engendering a lot of imagination in the lifts. This kind of one-footed sort of stretch up is really very nice to see. Remember, the skaters have to do a minimum of 5 different lifts, but not more than 7. They also have to do twizzles, a minimum of 4. This is a twizzle right here, for those of you who are asking.
5.4, 5.3, 5.6, 5.4.
And the count lives. A little bit bright in here for Dracula, isn't it? First set of marks, 5.3 to 5.6.
And their marks for presentation.
And there's a little variation there as well as here, you can notice, because I think the judges have a varying degree of affection for this skater. These skaters, they're very technically strong.
So Fusser-Poli and Morgaglio now in second place behind Anasina and Pezara. But coming up next, the husband and wife team from Russia, Irina Lob.
He's portraying an artist, and she a dream of his. Circular steps, sequences required now. The lift with a minimum of 1 revolution. I feel as though I'm citing the rule book.
No, that would take you hours. Now, Dick, it is interesting to watch the dynamics anytime these two top couples get together and compete, though. Ilya Averbuk used to skate with Marina Anasina, was a 2-time junior world champion. with her, but Irina Lobacheva caught his eye, fell in love with her, and decided to skate with her.
Wonderful step sequences. Very difficult. This couple far more adult this year. Their technique stronger still. Greater speed than we saw previously. They're a wonderful couple. You know, their speed, the difficulty of their technique is just marvelous.
They finished second in this event last year. They won't settle for that, trying to challenge for the lead. Lobacheva and Averbuk.
Now look at this dance lift. It satisfies a lot of the requirements by the new rules, but it's also imaginative and inventive and great fun to watch. And these steps are in a form of a huge circle, and that's one of the requirements, a circular dance sequence. The steps, very difficult, must be of great variety, and the positions too. Very tough skating.
5 points.
Irina and Ilya alongside their coach, Natalia Linachuk, part of the 1980 Olympic ice dance champion team, and Gennady Karponosov. Technical merit marks 5.5 to 5.7.
Those are fairly steady marks and certainly showing exactly where they're going to be in this competition. There's not much variation here either on the second mark.
Presentation marks, and Lobacheva and Averbuk right now in second place. So the winners, the world bronze medalists from last year, Anasina and Pesara of France. Lobacheva and Averbuk of Russia finished second, and the Italians Fuscipoli and Morgalio finished with the bronze medal. Good finish for Lang and Chernichev of the United States. They finish in fifth place, and the same for Shalom and Gates, who finished seventh. Up next,